coming into Thomas Cuisine and learning that they had the same concept and the same values that I have, and flipping kitchens around, going from frozen stuff to fresh things, and just having that in common really brought me into this culture um, that I feel we're still missing in other senior living communities. I've been very fortunate to have been able to work and flip kitchens and taking them from everything frozen to fresh. It takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of dedication, but it can be done. It can be done, and I've seen it happen. And merging with Thomas Cuisine and really learning the culture and really understanding what they're doing and what their mission is it's very good to see. It's definitely going to raise it to another level and really have that real fine dining experience.
So you're telling me that in the past you've seen senior dining locations that you walk in back of house and it's just like freezer space, just all
Yeah,
frozen. You're not really even cooking. You're really just like we're defrosting and reheating things.
repeating, yes. It's that those coaching opportunities that you have people on the line reheating this food, but if you just take the time and teach them and coach them into doing things from fresh, they're willing to learn. Everybody that's in the kitchen industry is there for a passion. It's very hard work, and they're willing to learn all these things. They just haven't been taught. It was part of the industry where you don't have executive sous chefs, and I feel like when I saw these communities, they didn't have structure. They didn't have structure, and they didn't understand the value of food. Once somebody came in and coached them through it, they adapted really quickly because all these people they're in the kitchen because they love to cook. They're in the kitchen because they love food and they understand it. But if they don't give them the tools that they need, they're not going to grow. Getting introduced to Thomas Cuisine and them expressing the freshness that they want, the work ethics of coaching people into place, really grabbing um, in, really grabbing recipes that are easy and comforting, and really getting to know our audience. I think every community has a different audience, and they take that personal like effect or that personal approach to it, and they really find out who their audience is, and they really focus on what's comforting to them, what they like. They take steps, and they have thousands of recipes out there that can actually do that. They can actually go to every community and really focus on the audience there. um, I visited a community in Chicago and a community in Florida, and they it was a different audience. But with Thomas Cuisine, they seem to know their audience and really capture the integrity of the food and put it out there. I have this mission of turning everything from 80, it's called an 80-20 concept. There's a 90-10 out there, but I'm sticking to the 80-20 at this point in my career, where you get 80% fresh to a 20% frozen ratio. And also doing that in the office, in the field, staying 80% out there on the floor compared to 80% to 20% in the office. It's a very good concept that I was taught by my mentors.
So when you look at a kitchen that needs to be flipped from maybe they're doing 2080, what are some of the very first things that you look at and you're like, these are the easiest things that we can switch from frozen, processed, bagged, whatever, to we can do it ourselves? What would be your like go-to items to swap frozen for fresh?
We'll definitely go into soups is like a no-brainer. We can make soups out of anything. Like good soups, we can just do out of anywhere. Desserts is a little bit more tricky. Turning into desserts, it takes a lot of talent and a lot of respect to the pastry chefs. Also to the line cooks. If they're really dedicated and they're putting their efforts in there, we can put entrees on there that are easy, but also comforting, but have really good sauces in there and things like that. So I would definitely tackle the soups. Um, fresh salads like the salad bars or the, the pantry. Those kind of things are also an easy switch. A lot of people don't get variety, and just giving out there and going with the seasons and putting the fruits and the vegetables that are in season. So I will look at what season we're in, get everything that I get my hands on fresh, but soups would definitely be the first thing to change. And it also, they hold so much nutrients in there.
When we're using fresh, people sometimes get tempted to think, well, the labor's that's going to be too difficult. It's a time thing. We don't have enough time to make soup. We don't have enough time to do all of this. So how does that swap break down for you? You're obviously doing it successfully. So how does the time in opening packages compare to the time in training our folks and getting them on the track to doing what they really want to do, which is work with food?
And I think it just has to do with a lot of coaching, a lot of planning. But with all those frozen products, you do lose the integrity of the food. Before you know it, it's overcooked or everything gets blended together. Even as simple as a noodle soup, if you have those noodles in there soaking in that broth for even before it even hits the reheating process, when it comes from frozen, it's already, the integrity is lost. It as simple, it's like simple as this chicken noodle soup. Um, if you have it in house, you make your broth, you take your time. It's in the back burner, the chicken broth's in the back burner. Your chicken's back there, your mirepoix, whatever you put in it, your seasonings, everything. Then you have your noodles on the side, and when it's time for service, you mix those things together. You're gonna have a nice al dente noodle. You know, it's all the little things. It To me, like really in my heart, to me, it's no different from, going to the freezer, finding your package, ordering it, making sure that it's reheated properly, then actually just taking your fresh ingredients and cooking with it. There's no difference in time for me. Having the right recipes, working out there on the floor and actually coaching your staff to do it right. It doesn't matter who's on the line. If you coach everybody that comes in and you take your time coaching them, um, there's not going to be a difference. Running into the senior living community, and finding out that it was missed in our industry, really motivated me to look more into it. I'm always up for a challenge, and I love food, and I love its nutrients. I love it as a whole. My dad did have cancer, and passed away, and fighting and growing through those battles, and knowing that, all the nutrients that we could give him and things like that. And really, fresh food does make a difference. Like, it makes a difference. So it's a little bit more personal, like a personal vendetta, trying to get all these natural nutrients into great food that is, displayed beautifully, and so our members or our families can enjoy, and knowing that they're having its full potential.